There is a central column going through three floors of the museum, and I choose to turn it to a drill. And the drill, you have to imagine a kind of fiction where we are not the construction of the museum, but at the end, when there is no more museum, when we are in another geological time. What we see here is basically the geological layers which are underneath us, the shale and sandstone and the pebbles which form basically the roots of the park. But the more the visitors will go up in the museum, the more they will see the materials on this drill are processed. Already here towards the top, there are fragments of roads and asphalts, somehow corresponding to the airport that once was here under this park. And then going up, there will be a layer of concrete, a layer of steel, and then all the materials of the exhibition space, and basically work with all the garbage remaining from the construction of the museum.
đây là yếu chế định với nằm ở ngoài ở đây tham gia cuộc thi
The museum, apart from having an art collection of presenting modern and contemporary art, also is associated to a library. So it was natural not only for me as one of the invited curators, but also for my colleagues to think about the representation of books in the context of contemporary art. Because in modernity, it's a very important moment at the beginning of the 20th century and then onwards after the Second World War, when we would say it's the end of modernity. It's important to see how artists were using printed matter in order to express their ideas. We have to imagine in between wars, still art was being produced, but books had a higher circulation. So there were many artists that were putting a lot of interest in producing books that could travel, that could be printed, that could be worldwidely read. Of course, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's case is very special. He, as a child, wanted to be an artist, didn't receive support from his affluent family. He was coming from the old French aristocracy, so of course there were other dreams for him in place. But the first page of The Little Prince starts actually with his dream, because one day he draws a snake that ate an elephant. And he brings this drawing to the adults, right? And in the book, he describes this at the beginning of the book, at the very beginning. And the adults see a hat, and they see that it's not even interesting because it's not a beautiful hat. It doesn't represent deeper feelings. Why would somebody want to be an artist if he draws like this? But in reality, when he showed the same drawing to other kids, they could see that it was an elephant swallowed by a snake. And in the exhibition, we also have this interplay and dialogue between animals and nature and humans, and how we get into dialogue to one another.
这个建筑的外观哦，就是其实从外面看，它就像是8个就是方位不同的这个方盒子所结合在一起的。那因为外墙有一个金属的这个扩张网，所以相对我觉得大家可能在外观上面会觉得这一栋建筑相对的封闭，但是事实上扩张网的这个材质，当你进到室内之后往外看，会觉得视野其实是非常非常延伸的。那这一次的开幕展的这个策展过程当中呢，其实策展人们跟美术馆的这个策展团队，我们也用了就是蛮多前辈艺术家的这个作品来做前期的这个研究还有讨论的这个内涵。那并且这一些作品呢，它怎么样去折射出不同的这个当代艺术创作可以延伸跟讨论的更多全球艺术家都在关注的一些问题，包含人跟环境之间的关系、动植物跟万物之间的这样子的一个对话经验。